A ketogenic diet is the most powerful tool you can use to lose weight and reverse insulin resistance. Go look at the comments of any YouTube video on this topic. They're filled with people who've had amazing success, shocking their doctors, getting off medication. It's effective, it's powerful, it works. Today, I'm going to take you through the basics of a ketogenic diet, going through the 10 simple steps you can follow to find yourself being the one writing out an amazing success story in the comments. Before we start, it's important to understand what a ketogenic diet is. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered if there's a diet that could just burn fat? Well, that's exactly what a ketogenic diet is. There are two types of energy our body can use for fuel. I think of this like gas and diesel. The first is sugar, or what we refer to as glucose. After you eat any source of carbs, the body breaks it down into simple sugars or glucose. This is like filling up your car with gas. A compound called insulin is then released from your pancreas, which gets sugar into cells. It's then used as fuel. Glucose is great for providing high amounts of energy when we need it. For example, running a race or doing a workout. The problem, however, is most Americans have way too much of it. Excessive glucose can raise insulin levels, get turned into body fat, and this is what leads to conditions like insulin resistance, obesity, and diabetes, and what we're trying to reverse through something like a ketogenic diet. You see, when the body doesn't have an immediate supply of glucose, it changes energy sources, switching over to diesel, or what we call ketones. Ketones are made from breaking down fat. This could be fat that you eat in your diet or fat that's stored inside your body. The purpose of a ketogenic diet is to cut off the body's access to sugar, allowing it to start making ketones. And this can be done through high fat, high protein, and very, very low carb foods. Why are YouTube videos and blogs like Reddit filled with testimonies of this changing people's lives? One, it's a very filling and satiating diet, making it much easier for people to lose weight. We're also no longer going to be spiking up blood sugar and insulin, which cuts down on things like hunger, cravings, that food noise constantly going through your mind. This way of eating can literally put medical conditions into remission. I've seen patients use this to put their diabetes into remission, to get off blood pressure medicine, even to fully reverse conditions like sleep apnea. Lastly, burning fat 24/7 provides a very good sustained level of energy. Let's go through the 10 steps you need to know for a ketogenic diet. Our first step is going to be cutting out sugar. This is by far the most important step. Sugar of all shapes and forms needs to be thrown out. This includes white sugar, brown sugar, cane sugar, added sugars, even natural sugars like honey and agave. It'll be important to make a regular habit out of reading food labels because there's often added sugars in different products throughout the store. As an example, you could go buy something like deli meat or bacon only to find that brown sugar is added to the coating of it. This will throw you out of ketosis and has to be eliminated from the diet. Step number 2 is often one of the hardest changes to make, but you will be glad you did. It's cutting out all grains. Breads, pasta, bakery items, chips, crackers, oatmeal, cereal, all grains are gone. These items are obviously a staple in a lot of people's diets, and they can potentially be replaced with things like cauliflower crust or zucchini noodles. Step 3 is to cut out all fruits and starchy vegetables with a small exception that I'll tell you about. Even though we think of fruit as a healthy food, they contain sugar and they will break you out of ketosis. Starchy vegetables can have the same effect, so we want to avoid foods like sweet potatoes, white potatoes, yams, corn, and peas. Now, I told you there's a small exception. You can potentially include a very small amount of berries in your diet. Strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Our specific goal is to stay under 20 grams of carbohydrates for the day to stay in ketosis. So, what is actually on the menu? Vegetables are okay, and the more the better. Think about half your plate being filled with greens such as salad or broccoli. Other keto friendly vegetables include bok choy, celery, spinach, asparagus, avocado, arugula, and zucchini. You'll have to throw out most salad dressings and sauces, but very good replacements are olive oil and vinaigrette. Now, if half your plate is veggies, the other half should be a fatty meat. Step number 5 is to eat protein. Chicken, beef, steak, fish, and eggs. These all have good amounts of protein and fat. I recently had a patient who was talking to me about keto. They've been practicing this diet for several years now. And the biggest lesson they've learned is that, hey, you still have to prioritize protein intake. Being intentional about eating protein made a huge difference in this person's muscle tone. Now, remember, ketones come from breaking down fat. So, in this particular diet, fattier meat is actually preferred over the leaner meats, but all are welcome in a keto diet. Dairy products like cheese and Greek yogurt can also be a great source of protein. We're going to stay away, however, from high lactose options like milk. Many of the foods we already mentioned, like meat, are full of good, healthy fat. You can add in more fats to the diet through things like butter and healthy oils like olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Now, the healthiest option is to avoid seed oils like canola oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, or soybean oils. These are highly processed, and we want to stick to the more natural products. Now, nuts can be a great source of fats and protein, especially to add on at the end of your meal to help keep you full. Again, you just have to be careful with things like added sugars if you're buying it from the store. Step number 7, I strongly recommend doing keto the healthy way. What do I mean by that? This diet has been around for a long, long time, and the food industry has caught on to that and started to make all kinds of keto products. You go to the store and see things like keto breads, keto wraps, keto cookies, keto ice cream, keto powders, keto shakes. This is not keto. This is just the food industry trying to make a buck. By sticking to the whole foods that we already talked about, you'll find much better long term success. I've had people do it both ways, and it's become very clear that the people who are doing keto the clean way have much better payoff in the end. Half your plate's meat, half your plate's vegetable and oils with a small amount of nuts and berries on the side. Sticking with these foods will certainly get you into ketosis, but we're about to add something on that's going to make it even more effective. Aside from cutting carbs, the other way to get the body into ketosis is by decreasing the frequency in which you're eating. Step 8 is to eat within a 4 to 8 hour window during the day. We call this intermittent fasting. A common example would be skipping breakfast. You start eating around noon and finish eating for the day by 6 p.m. That way, from 6 p.m. in the evening, all throughout the night, all through the following day until noon, you're in the fasting state. You would end up spending 18 hours fasting and 6 hours in your feeding window. If you're looking for a way to kickstart your diet, you could even start with a 24-hour fast to get your body into ketosis and let the diet take over from there. As your body shifts into ketosis, there's a temporary imbalance between fluids, energy, and most importantly, minerals. This can cause a combination of symptoms we call the keto flu. Many people will feel nausea, vomiting, have headaches, and feel fatigued. To help prevent the keto flu from happening, make sure to get plenty of fluids and, most importantly, your electrolytes and minerals. You can look at taking an electrolyte supplement or take something like magnesium in combination with a very good form of salt, such as Himalayan sea salt. So, yeah, there's a lot of changes that can happen in the body as you transition into a keto diet, especially if you're adding in intermittent fasting. Really, anytime you make a change to your diet, it can lead to symptoms like bloating and constipation. And for that reason, step number 10 is to go slow. Don't hesitate to lay out a step by step plan with your doctor, especially if you're on medications for things like diabetes or high blood pressure. You can consider slowly transitioning to this diet by adding in keto friendly foods and cutting out carbs slowly over the course of a couple weeks. You can take a slower approach to intermittent fasting as well, decreasing your feeding window by 1 hour every few days to get your body adjusted to the idea of fasting. As you transition into keto, you're going to start experiencing some of the amazing benefits that we already talked about. But what if I told you that there's a way to multiply these benefits even further? Watch this video next, and I'll break down the best type of exercise to use with keto in order to reverse insulin resistance.